coming over here to Ardais because it is not very long when I came back over here, and I'm quite happy, friends, that after leaving the directorship of this institution, where I learned a lot, we did a lot of work out over here. I went to the university, and gradually transition has taken place, and today I have taken over as dean of the School of Management. And friends, I am really very happy to be invited out over here, and delighted to look in for that the institution is trying to organize these good programs in association with MSME. I think if you look in for this organization, MSME, it is a very important organization because if India really has to progress, India has to develop, we really had to increase the industrial base of the country. And MSME is really doing a lot of efforts in this particular area by basically promoting the growth of the MSME plus these types of, I can say, the MDPs, or we call them as FDPs, faculty development programs. Today I could see that the topic which has been chosen for this particular workshop or seminar is very relevant, friends, and this is what we are talking in terms of organizational growth through strategic management. I think this is a very practical thing which is required today, and yeah, I had been given the responsibility to make you to understand what exactly is this concept of strategy and what, yeah. I'm audible? Yeah, hello, I'm audible? Yeah, okay, fine. So friends, friends, before I'll start, basically few things I will like to clarify from you, and then we will start whatever I have to discuss today. Very important thing which I just want to understand from you, do you understand this word strategy? Why we talk of this word called as strategy? I think you had already some exposure yesterday, and you had already understood the importance of what this word called as strategy. Yeah, friends, anybody which can come forward and basically help me in terms of what making to understand what is this word strategy. Although we say this word has come from military only, and Colonel Mahinder Singh has already given you an idea that it is strategos from where this word strategy has come. Strategy is nothing but a blueprint. It is nothing but called as a game plan, which every organization has to have. And when we talk of strategic management, it is nothing but what? The management of the strategic actions which are required on the part of the organization. And that is how exactly we combine these two, and we say the outcome of strategic management is what? Is a good strategy. Yeah. Very nice question. Now, when we talk in terms of strategy, we are always talking from the long-term perspective. And when we talk in terms of tactics, we talk in terms from the short-term perspective. I just illustrate a small example. Now, company, in order to increase the sales, has deployed the salespeople, and they have defined the territories, and they have assigned quotas to the salespersons. So that means designing the territories, defining the quotas, and assigning the salespersons to the territories, what is a part of the marketing strategy, what the company has decided. Now, when the salesperson goes out over there in the territory and therefore wants to have the business from that particular territory, what method he adopts to get the sale is nothing but called as what? Tactics. That means if he goes out over there and he feels that the customer is looking in for some type of tips in terms of what? Discussion over a cup of tea, or discussion over having some type of a dinner or lunch, I think he will not mind to what? Arrange for a dinner or a lunch. And this is what we are talking in terms of what? Tactics. Because he has to get the business from whom? From the customer. And friends, ये बहुत important होता है कि दोस्त बनाना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, और किस तरह से मुझे अपनी दोस्ती बनानी है एक अपने दोस्त के साथ, दिस इज नथिंग बट कॉल्ड एज व्हाट? टैक्टिक्स. और दोस्त होना जिंदगी के अंदर जरूरी है. आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग इन टर्म्स एज अ पार्ट ऑफ माय व्हाट या आई से रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रेटेजी. So I think when we talk in terms of strategy and strategic management, we should be very clear, friends, that every organization has its vision and what? Mission. And if I say when we talk in terms of vision, it is the foresight, what the company is trying to look, what will be the company ahead after 5 years or let's say 7 years or 10 years, that basically becomes the vision. Mission is basically when they're trying to translate what the organization is going to do for the society. If I'm talking in terms of a university, as a university, our mission is very clear that we have to create what? The students as professional managers. If I'm talking in terms of our own school of management, I say we have to create students who basically going to become professional managers. And if we want to create these professional managers, how they are going to do good for the society? So they can do good to the society by becoming ethical managers in terms of managing the organizations or steering the organizations for what? Global. Because today we are talking in terms of what? Globalization. So for global leadership. So how exactly we can create these types of managers who can take what organizations and make Indian organizations to be what? Global leaders. And that is what is the mission of our school. Vision we are trying to look in for how exactly we had to be different when we talk in terms of 5 years down the line. I think I'm very clear, friends, when I look in for 5 years down the line, marketing, what I'm teaching today is not going to be the same. If I'm talking in terms of marketing 2.0, I have to talk of marketing 3.0, and maybe from there I have to move to marketing 4.0. So marketing will be different. Marketing will be purely digitalized. And because we are going to see what 5 years down the line, it is going to be what? Digitalization age. And if I'm in a position to foresee that, I think I am having a very clear-cut vision. If I'm talking in terms of today's MBA program, I think that is not going to sell where 5 years down the line, because 5 years down the line, this type of MBA program is not going to what? Give any type of value addition to whom? To the students. Hence, we today are thinking in terms of what? The long-term perspective. That why don't you look in for what lies in the future? And when I look in for what lies in the future, I am very clear. Future belongs to business analytics. And if future belongs to business analytics, then why don't we create a type of a program which we name it as what? MBA Business Analytics. And that is how exactly. So that means every organization has its vision and what we are talking of mission. Where we are, where we want to be, and where we could be. And these are the three questions, and when we are trying to answer these questions, I think we are having very clear-cut what? The picture of our own organization. Now, in the light of these vision and mission, we try to lay down certain objectives. So we say management by objectives. I'm also going to give you an idea. It is not necessary that we do management by objectives. We can even do management by non-objectives. So what are those ways in which we can do management by what? Non-objectives. But initially we always have certain objectives in our mind. I normally ask my students whenever they join any program, what is the basic objective of joining this course? Sir, कुछ और करने को था नहीं, इसलिए MBA कर रहा हूँ. यही बताया गया था. 3 कोर्स हैं, MBA कर लो, MBBS कर लो, BTech कर लो. BTech MBBS में मिला नहीं सर, ऑल्टरनेटिव कोई बचा नहीं था, इसलिए मैं MBA में आ गया हूँ. So I think they are not very clear about what their objectives, their aims. So I think we should be very clear where we want to go, and for that particular reason our objective should be very clear. I think you are very clear about your objectives as RDIS. We are very clear as what are the objectives of USMS. Basic objective is the academic, but it's not only academic, we also have to focus on research, we also have to focus on what? Consultancy. Now in order to accomplish those objectives, friends, we require some game plan. If Kargil was the objective, friends, that we had to win this particular war, I think military designed what? Some strategy in order to win that Kargil war. But that was a prestige for what? For the country. So all objectives, whenever we are trying to set, they are basically the prestige of whom? Of any organization. And to accomplish those objectives, they are trying to carve out what? These strategies. Ultimately, what is a strategy? It is a game plan. It is a blueprint. हम अपना घर बनाते हैं तो उसके लिए हम क्या तैयार करते हैं? एक ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार करते हैं, एक नक्शा तैयार करते हैं. किचन कहाँ होगी, ड्राइंग रूम कहाँ होगा, कहाँ लिविंग रूम होगा, डुप्लेक्स होगा, सिंगल स्टोरी होगा, क्या होगा. That means till the time we have written down certain things on the paper, friends, we don't implement. Military लोग भी यही करते हैं. Wars are not won in the battlefield, friends. Wars are won where? On the paper. So they carve out what has to be done. Ground attack होगा, air attack होगा, combined attack होगा, फिर उसके बाद sea attack होगा, क्या होगा, कहाँ commandos जाएंगे, क्या guerrilla attack होगा. They design everything, and when they are designing, they are fixing, they are defining. It is nothing but they are designing what? The strategy. So I think it is very clear. It is nothing but a blueprint or a game plan. But this blueprint or game plan is secret, and that is the most important secret in any organization, that they don't allow their strategies to be disclosed to whom? To their competitor. So what is strategic management? It is the management of a business to keep the organization ahead of whom? Competitors. क्योंकि आपके दुश्मन कौन है? आपके दुश्मन आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं. और यही आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है फ्रेंड्स कि जो मेरे कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं, आई शुड नो माई कॉम्पिटिटर्स, I should understand their strengths, I should understand their weaknesses, I should understand their moves, and therefore what? Design my own moves which can counter the moves of the competitor, so that my organization remains what? Ahead over there in what? In whatever business we are. And that is what I think we are trying to understand today, that what can be these types of moves on the part of the organization. Either the move can be for organizational growth, or the move can be for what? आज मुझे लगता है ग्रोथ नहीं है बिजनेस के अंदर, तो ऑब्वियसली मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होगा? My moves have to be for what? Making the organization stable where I'm there. So organizational stability. मैं stability भी नहीं अचीव कर पा रहा हूँ, मैं sustain करना चाह रहा हूँ. Sustainability मेरे लिए क्या है? एक बहुत बड़ी एक challenge है. तो I am trying to look in for what? That how exactly I can what? Turn around my organization. Maybe for that particular reason, my strategies will be either to go in for liquidation or to go in for divestiture or anything such type of move. That means whatever moves are taken by the organization in order to what? Yeah, be there in the business, friend, and to be ahead of whom? Of the competitor. तीन तरह की organizations होती हैं friend, हर वक्त ध्यान में रखना. Organizations who basically do something and others watch and they follow. Therefore हमने कहा हमारे यहाँ जो कुछ करती हैं और उनको लोग देखते हैं और उनको फॉलो करते हैं, those organizations are called as leaders. They are the market leaders. So I think leadership can be by having any type of competitive advantages. One of the very important competitive advantage which has been analyzed by, I think everybody must have heard the name of an organization called as McKinsey, right? It's a consultancy firm. When they went about and understanding that what is the reason of the success of the organizations, they can understand one of the very important distinctive advantage which always makes the organization ahead of the competitor is quality. And that is how exactly we have always started nowadays talking and thinking and therefore implementing what we are talking in terms of what? Quality. And our organizations say leadership through what? Quality. Innovation is also a part of what? Quality. So quality, when we are talking in terms of for different types of organizations, quality parameters will be what? Different. I am into education, friends. In case of education services, what are the quality parameters? I think everybody can understand. And the quality parameters is that to what extent I am in a position to what? Keep my student happy, keep my student knowledgeable, keep my student what? There in the classroom. There are people whom students are not interested to listen, and there are the people whom the students are always interested to what? Yeah, listen. जैसे कुछ भी हो जाए, हमें उनकी क्लास पे जाना ही जाना है. So they are glued to what? To a particular classroom. I think there is a difference in what? In the personality and characteristic of what? A particular preacher or a teacher. So don't try to become a teacher more, become more of a preacher. I think that is how exactly you can what motivate. The second important parameter of quality for any teacher, if I am trying to look in for, is the research contribution. How much of the research contribution the teacher has done, the faculty has done. And then when we talk in terms of research contribution these days, thanks to UGC, I think API has already come. And because of that API, people are really into what research, but I don't understand to what extent they are really doing what research, right? I think you have already seen how the ex-Vice Chancellor of Delhi University has been what? Yeah, put behind the bars, right? So thanks to research. So that should not be the type of the research we should always be looking in for. Research really has to be original, and research really has to be what? Something which really contributes to the body of knowledge. And for that particular reason, आज के दिन हम ऐसे journals की बात करते हैं, which are what we are talking of index journals. That whether your articles have come over there in those journals which are indexed, what is the quality of research we are doing. Third thing which is very important in case of what teaching when I am there, to what extent I am having an industry linkages, friend. And if I don't have any industry linkages, again I am not considered to be what? An effective preacher. Because if I am good, if I am doing some good research, my research should always basically what? Make me more popular where? ये कहा गया है कि don't make loud noise. Do your work in what silence, and your work should speak loudly so that people can understand you, right? And you are not there on the Facebook. I always feel you should be there on the Google. People should search for you not on Facebook but on what? Google. You really are good in terms of quality, friends. People will definitely search for you where on what? Google, not on the Facebook. So do something good, friends, and that is what is very important. That is how exactly we will be in a position to basically excel what? In our own field. So I'll not basically move into what more of the preaching out over here, because it is a very important seminar which we have organized in terms of faculty development program. So I just wanted to give you a brief idea about what is strategy and how exactly we are trying to what? Have different types of strategies. How we make the strategies, I think that has already been told to you in the last class by Colonel Mahinder Singh and other speaker, that we have various types of analysis. We do the internal analysis of the company as well as what? External environment. And when we are trying to do these two types of analysis, we are in a position to understand that what are the areas in which we really have to work. And on the basis of that, we'll be in a position to what? Say, take care of what is good for the organization. So let us try to look in for, friends, my request to all of you sitting out over here, since you are a very learned people sitting over here, try to keep on interrupting me and trying to what? Ask me a lot of questions so that I'm in a position to what? Keep this session live. A good speaker is one who can give a very fast sleep to whom? To the audience. Sir, आपके लेक्चर के अंदर इतनी जबरदस्त नींद आई कि कल की जो थकावट थी आज ही दूर हुई. So थकावट दूर नहीं करना सर, थोड़ा देख लेना. Now friends, when we talk in terms of the strategy, the importance of strategy in business started there in the world, friends, with this particular framework, McKinsey. He went to America and, friends, looked in for what is the reason of the success of what good companies over there in US. And on the basis of that, he could look in for that the success of the companies basically is dependent upon what? The 7S. And when there's a proper integration in these 7S, then we can always say that the organization is properly strategized. Now, if you look in for, I have just shown these 3S in what? Red colors, which we are talking in terms of hard S. The starting, if you look in for, is nothing but called as what? Strategy. Friends, try to understand strategy of any company always guide every other elements of what? Of organizing. Structure follows strategy, systems follow strategy, shared values follow strategy, style of leadership follows what? Strategy. Staff that we want to have in the organization is also told to us through what? Through the type of the strategy which we are trying to have. Skill set which is required is also told to us by whom? By the strategy. So strategy is the guiding force, friends. That is very, very important. I just illustrate this with the help of a small example. We normally, when we teach strategic management, we say structure follows strategy, and we ask this question from the students. If I'm a money lending organization, nature of business is different. I'm into money lending. There are two functions in money lending. One is what? Credit expansion. Another is what? Recovery. Because if I'm expending credit, I should also what? Recover whatever I have extended in the form of credit. So these are two important functions. The type of organization structure for this organization will always be dependent upon what? The strategy. So that means what is the strategy? That how to expand the credit, what moves the company should take in order to expand the credit, and what game plan the company should have to what? Get the money, recover the money. So if this is the strategy, I think structure accordingly has to be there, where we really need to have what? A flat type of an organization, direct reporting relationship with whom? With the CEO of the organization. Look in for vis-a-vis another organization, Hindustan Unilever. It is into what? FMCG products.
These products had to be sold what? Pan India. The nature of business is different. Their objectives are different. Accordingly, the strategy will be different. Accordingly, what? The organization structure will be different. The skill set will be different. The shared values will be different. Everything will be different because the strategy is different. So try to understand, friends. When we have designed this type of a FDP for you, we just want to create what the importance of this word called as what? Strategy. So it's a game plan, friends. If I want to appear for an IAS, it is a very prestigious course. Vis-a-vis I am trying to appear for what? CAT. The strategies are different. So that means whenever we have what? Any type of an objective, and when the objective is different, friends, we really have to what? Change the strategy. So that is very, very important. So I just thought, let me just create a mindset in you that when McKinsey can talk in terms of what? The strategy is the pillar, strategy is the guiding force. Let us also try to understand how exactly we can understand the importance of this word. I've already said in normal situations, friend, we always are managing by what? Objectives. So objectives are the first, and to accomplish these objectives, we have what? Strategy. Look in for what can be the various objectives for any business organization. I think we'll agree with all these objectives. We really want to have what? Market share. Although we are moving from market share to what? Customer share. But in any case, we are just looking for something called as a share. Quicker on time delivery than rivals. Because we have already seen the customer mindset. And one of the most important thing which is very dear to a customer is what? On time delivery. कोई सामान खरीदता है तो सबसे पहले ग्राहक यही पूछता है कि सर ये मेरा सामान कितनी देर में पहुंच जाएगा, आप घर पहुंचे भी नहीं होंगे, आपका सामान आपके घर के बाहर होगा. सर क्या आप बात कर रहे हो, मैं तो अभी पहुंच जाऊंगा, उससे पहले आपका सामान पहुंच जाएगा. आई थिंक आप घर पहुंच के सबसे पहले ये अनाउंसमेंट करते हैं, फ्रिज आ रहा है, आइसक्रीम खिलाऊंगा, सारे लोग आ जाना मेरे घर में. आप घर में पहुंच जाते हैं, अनाउंसमेंट भी हो जाती है, वेट कर रहे हैं, बट नहीं आता है क्या? रेफ्रिजरेटर, स्टेबलाइजर आ जाता है, सर स्टेबलाइजर भेज दिया है और रेफ्रिजरेटर कोई और ले गया, कल आएगा. देखिए कितना दुख होता है किसको? कस्टमर को. वो कहते हैं आज से कसम खाता हूं कहीं से ले लूंगा, उस दुकानदार से नहीं लूंगा, दूर हो जा मेरी नजरों से,